Okay, so come on, voice. Hello, tap in. I wanted to do this setup that is more chill than my normal setup for the days that I want to say something really quickly. And so this video, I already have a feeling that the theme is going to be centered around just starting. Don't think too much about how the piece is going to fit in the puzzle later. Just acknowledge the piece. Just bring the piece into the picture. And then you can figure out where exactly it's going to go afterwards, okay? But let me tell you how I came to this conclusion, this vision, if you will. So for the past week or so, I had been thinking about just having a bonus episode or just another filming segment of speaking, and I was like, well, if I post this on my YouTube, then it has to be posted into my podcast because I have my podcast on YouTube. And then I was like, and right now I'm not even in the season right now to talk about the things that I want to talk about just yet, so I have to hold off on it. But the thing is, right, when I was getting these moments, this inspiration to speak to the camera about things that are outside of the specific series that I'm on in my podcast right now, I had to acknowledge the fact that just because I don't know how it's going to fit in my life right now doesn't mean that I need to get rid of it. Doesn't mean I can't focus on it. And the thing is, when you start doing something, that's how you learn where it fits in. That's how you discover how it plays a part in your life. And so I'm starting this thing on YouTube where I film something that I'm inspired to talk about in a long form video, just not related to the podcast just yet. Okay? So just for this time being, this is just like in my head, I'm considering it a mini insight, because my podcast is called Intro to Insight. So I'm considering this like a mini insight or a bonus episode, whatever. I don't have the name for it. All I know is that there is going to be moments within the month that I'm going to share these speaking videos that just aren't aligned with the podcast that I know of right now. And that's the other thing. When I was also thinking about this, I was like, okay, what if the more I talk, in this episode, the more I talk in this video, then maybe it will reveal how it's connected to whatever series I'm on in the podcast. Anyways, it's not my role, it's not your role to figure out how something is going to fit in your life. As long as you're being called to do it, just do it. And the answer will come once you've already had it in your life. The answer will reveal itself once you're already in the flow of doing it. So this is for my creatives. This is for my people who are just like having goals in life, and for the people who want love or attracting love in their life. You don't have to know exactly where it's going to take you. You just have to open up the space to allow it to exist in your life right now. So you don't have to know all about how it's going to show up in a specific category in your life. All you got to worry about is showing up. Okay. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I'm thinking of how having these videos be titled something around if you're seeing this is for you, because these are not structured videos. They're not videos that I've cultivated for my podcast. It's just whatever message hits me within the month that I'm not filming. So the time that you are aligned with this, it's very special, because it's going to be aligned with the time that you're going to need to hear it. Because if it wasn't, then I wouldn't be called to speak on it randomly within the month. Okay? So let's all get excited about that. Get excited about welcoming in the things that are calling you, or even I get so stuck in my head with trying to make sure the timeline of things is perfect, or to make sure that I understand the timeline of things. But in reality, I don't know how things are going to unfold. Everything's a mystery. Things are unknown. Things are uncertain. And I have to allow myself to just be in the energy of playing in the uncertainty. And this could be even for anything in life. Like, why do I take the schedule of things, the timeline of things so seriously when I'm just being called to do certain things in that time? I don't have to think about, like, if I go after this goal, if I go after this idea, how is it going to fit in my life later? Doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter. Right now is that you're being called to do it. So do it. Allow the answers of the future, allow the answers of the future to come to you when it is time. But the time for you to acknowledge that the idea is put in your heart right now, is calling you right now. It's not calling on you to think about it later. You know, an idea is not calling on you to execute it in 3 years. Take little steps now. And even when I was looking at my phone this morning, there was a notification that was talking about small steps. And that's the whole idea of certain things. Because for me, I'm a big dreamer. I like to think of like the big picture. And if I have an idea and I can't really see the vision for it just yet, then I'm prone to like just being like, I don't know how that's going to work out, so let me just ignore it. But the thing is, it is going to reveal itself, its purpose. You have to follow it though. You know, like that saying, follow the yellow brick road. Consider an idea, a calling that you have to do something, the first stone, the first step in the yellow brick road. The more you follow it, the more it leads you to something. But you can't like hold an idea in your hands and be like, all right, tell me where you're going to take me. You know, it's like you're trying to beat this idea down of giving you the answers, and the idea is trying to just get you to follow it. So just follow it. Just enjoy the calling, enjoy the excitement that it's bringing you in this moment, and just go for it. And that's how I'm feeling with these random videos where I'm just talking to the camera with my phone, no crazy setup, you know, and I'm just like, I'm going to push it out there. Wherever this video decides to take me, whatever. Not my business. My business right now is to make sure that I'm just showing up and I'm sharing whatever the message is, because somebody needs to hear it, and that's why it needs to be pushed out. So, yeah. And I also want to go about these videos in like a really silly, goofy way, like less editing, just more free-flowing speaking and channeling, and just allowing myself to just breathe in the moment. Feel out the moment and not even plan too much about how the beginning is going to be, how the middle is going to be, how the end is going to be. Just start. So that's what this is all about. Just start. There's something in your life that you need to just start. There's an idea that you need to just start. The plan, the bells and whistles and all the details can come later, but the only way you're going to find out what those details are is if you start now, and then later on you're going to realize, oh, I need to add this on there. Oh, I need to add this on there. It's like cooking. Okay, when you're in the kitchen, right? And you're in the kitchen, I'm getting so excited, but you're in the kitchen and you are cooking something that you've never cooked before. You know, there's no recipe for it. There's no cookbook for it. You're just feeling it out. And that's kind of how an idea is, okay? You feel it out. You're like, okay, let me taste this. But you have to start cooking it in order to be able to taste it. So say you're cooking up something and you're like, all right, let me get the first taste of it. You get the spoonful. You're like, needs salt. Now you add the salt in there. You taste it again. Needs more pepper. So you add the pepper in there. But you can't be looking at an empty bowl, an empty pot, an empty stove and being like, what does this need? No, you need to think about what you need to be fulfilled. What do you have a taste for? What do you have a calling for? And that's when you start to add those ingredients on later on. Oh, is this video not cooking? Am I not cooking with these words? Is this not relating to you in some way? Let me know. Because it's just like so exciting to just allow an idea to come to you and you're like, all right, let me follow this. Let me follow this feeling. And then later on being like, okay, wait, this idea was good when it first came in, but I know how to make it great. I know how to make it better. I add this little salt in there. I add this little pepper in there. You know, add this little, whatever it is, you add it on there as you go. And that's what this is all about. Improving as you go. You don't have to be perfect the moment you start. You just have to start in order to improve. Am I preaching or am I preaching? Like, So yeah, I think that's really all I have for this right now. All the vibe is. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, there it is. I love when I'm sitting in this moment and then the idea just like the channeling just happens. Okay, so I'm looking at this plant that I have and it has given me a hard time. This plant over here, okay? When I first got it, leaves were dropping, things were falling away from, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why is this not working out? And so I just stopped pressuring it to be something. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give you the light you need. I'm going to give you the water that you need. And then I'm just going to let you do you. I'm not going to worry about what's falling off. I'm just going to do my best to make sure that I am taking care of you. And whatever you are letting go of in this moment, you're meant to let go of, okay? Now keep that in mind. Now the other thing I wanted to say is I recently looked at this plant yesterday. Or actually no, let me rewind. And at the top of this plant were like two ways that I know that the leaves can come out of. So I was like, why are they not like bringing the plant in? Like, why is there no growth happening? Why is it turning brown? What's going on? And I was focusing so much on this part of the plant that I have seen growth before, but I'm not seeing it now, So I'm like staring at this plant, staring at focusing on where the growth usually happens at. Let me tell you this. 2 days ago, I looked at that plant. I was giving like a full scan, just admiring it. And I saw I saw one leaf. Nope, I saw two leaves, okay? Two leaves in a space that I wasn't even looking, okay? Stay with me. In the moment or in the part of the plant that I was focusing on, that I was like, had the bullseye on, and I'm like, where's the growth? Why isn't the growth happening in this spot right here? It's because whole time the growth was happening somewhere else. The growth was coming in from somewhere else. Just because you do not see where an idea is going to come in or how an idea is going to come in, where it's going to have a place in your life, doesn't mean growth is not happening. Doesn't mean that what you need in order to keep going is not going to come through. Okay, let me really just end it there. See where this goes. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this gave you some type of insight, some type of revelation, whatever it is. Catch you in the next video.